Welcome to part 2 of Dynasty Warriors 4 Empires, and the next thing I want to try to talk about is the Start and Select button, which will be used to reset in case you run into an unfavorable situation. You will be using it a lot in this game, as I will right about now, because I'm in an unfavorable situation. So I will see you guys in just a little bit. And I am back, and I am in a pretty good position now. It's time for me to get my revenge on a guy who tried to attack me not too long ago, and who attacked me in the last part. Yes, his lands are as good as ours, and besides, I like fighting in a Jiang province, number one. Number two, the Jiang province has another weaponsmith, so I might as well take that while I still can. Anyway, there's nothing here because none of the items haven't been produced yet. And that's the thing. You have to actually wait turns in order for the items to be fully produced. And after you use those items, you'll have to wait 4 more turns. So that can be a little frustrating. And if you think you can actually get all the items available by importing the game, you're sorely mistaken. You'll have whatever item you unlocked appeared in a gallery, and you'll have all your created characters from Dynasty Warriors 4 or 4 Extreme Legends imported onto the game. But that's pretty much it. You won't get the bodyguards from 4, and you won't even get none of the items from 4. You have to literally wait 4 turns in order for your items to be available, or if you have a policy called speed up items. Now, I didn't go into much detail, or I didn't even mention the controls at all, because some of the controls in the game is the same. The only thing that is different from this game, as is to Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires and 5, when you click on the right joystick in 5, that's only if you have a rage emblem. In 4, you can use it to taunt your enemies, and it actually shatters their guard, or actually leave them stunned for a little while. Now, the parrying in 4 is a lot sluggish and a lot slower than the parrying in 5, but you can pull it off. You just hold the strafe button and either the, which is the R1 button, or either the triangle or the square button. And unfortunately, I'm only mentioning the square and the triangle button because this game is available only for the PS2. Xbox users are pretty much SOL out of a good game. Now, as far as for the land that we're in, I happen to went for the base that is adjacent to my main camp, because so long as that base is out in the open, even if I would have took over everything that is on the left side of Jiang Ling, sorry, the right side would have been sorely undefended. So I just went and took the one closest to my base first. It is a pretty good strategy.
All units, fall back!
However, if you're the one defending, you'll be on the other side trying to fight to the opposite corner. And you won't have to worry about too much of your base being taken. You just have to hold out. This is basically the easiest stage for a defense. And if that looked like I was trying to check something, no. Actually, I paused the game because during the recording, but not during the final process, some of the frames were dropping in the recording. So I had to stop for a second because this game will take advantage of the fact that you have some sort of error, and it will defeat you. I stated this before, and I cannot stress this enough. This is the hardest game in the series, and 4 Empires is no exception. Just because it's an easier expansion of Dynasty Warriors 4 doesn't mean it doesn't have the difficulty of 4. Just bless the Lord that I didn't import anything else from Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends. In fact, I don't have Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends on me right at this time. If I did, I would have probably the hardest difficulty in this game in my possession, but I still won't play it because 4 is hard enough as it is. And that is Chaos Mode.
We cannot fall behind.
I mean, 4 is hard on normal, much less on easy. You honestly think that I would actually not get frustrated in Chaos Mode? I probably will. Hell, I wouldn't even stand a chance. And believe me, I tried. That's why I can tell you I will not stand a chance. Anyway, things are also different here.
We shall also begin our advance.
Unlike the Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires and Dynasty Warriors 5, the original Dynasty Warriors 4 and Dynasty Warriors 4 Extreme Legends had this system where
it would be better if we pulled
the
back
more
down.
enemies that you killed, the more experience points you got, and those experience points go to not only your soldier, but it also went to your weapons as well. And the higher your weapons were, the more powerful they became, and you had a better chance of defeating Lu Bu. I mean, the levels were split into like 3 levels apiece, with the max level being at 5 and level 11. However, you have to find them in Extreme Legends for the PlayStation 2, or an Xbox, you just have to fight it in hard. The most powerful weapons in the game. And I apologize if you couldn't hear me during that, because once again, well, that's if you couldn't hear me. If you could, don't worry about it. If you couldn't, that's because frame rates basically dropped during the recording again. I don't know why this happened. I don't have my scan on, but it did. But yeah, I was saying that the weapons in this game are easier to find here in Dynasty Warriors 4 Empires. I almost got confused with a different game, even though I've already played that game for my channel. The weapons are different here in Dynasty Warriors 4 Empires than what it is in Dynasty Warriors 4 or 4 Extreme Legends. So it basically means by the time you get like 10 or 20 lands, well, more like 20 anyway, you will be able to have the most powerful weapon in the game, and that is if you don't get a general in your army. No, that's before you get a general in your army. If you have a general in your army, your weapon will be maxed out regardless.
Fall back.
And the only way to get a general is if you fought with that person for more than 10 turns, not 5. And as for the strategist, you get that from buying all of his or her policies. So that's a lot of policies that you're going to have to buy. And sometimes the policies you might want to ignore. And other times you don't want to buy any policies and you just want to continue on with the game. Or other times, other people may have better policies than that person you're trying to make the strategist. The fact is, you gotta accept 20 policies from that person. That's the number, 20. And that person will become a strategist. And being a strategist, just like in Dynasty Warriors 5 Empires, mean that that person's policies will be less than everyone else's policies. And I'll try my best to actually get somebody as a strategist. I doubt I will, but I will try my best because the officers are randomized for the council meeting. That's why I said I may try my best. Because the more officers you have, and you can only have up to 10 officers. Or was it? Yeah, you can only have up to 10 officers and 10 lieutenants.
We've taken over.
They randomize among the lieutenants and the officers. Well, actually, it's more like randomized among the officers. So the officer you're trying to make the grand strategist may or may not show up for a couple of turns. So it's kind of hard to do that. So I might as well get all of this out of the way now, because this is going to be a pretty long playthrough. And I happen to capture yet another enemy. Nice. And seeing as how this is an officer, this actually goes under the officer rule. The whole game does. And no, there are no executions. So if you want to execute somebody, you can do it in 5. Anyway, this whole entire game goes under the officer rule, meaning if you kill an officer, you take his land and you take his troops, just like I did just now. Unfortunately, the last policy I bought off screen left me broke. So with that said, Jiang Ling is in my possession. So that's 2 lands down in 2 parts. Well, kind of a step back, but hey, at least I conquered something, right? Anyway, Quo C is down for the count. And now I have more land to work with. So with that said, I'm going to dismiss these guys because I don't have enough to buy them. Eventually they may show up in a policy or 2, but for right now I don't have enough money to buy them. But by the time this game is over, I will have the maximum amount of troops and the maximum amount of soldiers in my possession. But until then, this is RPMan985. I'll attack the land that's right above the Nanman Territories in Part 3. Continuing my crusade against the Nanman Territories, because I want those lands before they become really, really terrifying. Remember Dynasty Warriors 5 and how Sun Jian took the Nanman Territories? Yeah, I do. I don't want to relive that. See you guys next time.